Welcome back. 512 is your time. We're in storm alert weather mode today and tomorrow as we track our first impactful system of the new year. And as we take a look at your current radar, not a ton going on in our neck of the woods, but we're starting to see more and more rain showing up across Middle Tennessee and North Mississippi. And as this cold front and low pressure start to move to the east, we're going to see more of that moisture getting sucked out of the Gulf. So the radar will look a lot more healthy as we get into mid-morning and beyond into your afternoon. But if you're traveling out this morning, going to work, dropping the kids off at school in a couple hours, things are looking good for our morning commute. So that's the good news. The rain going to hold off until mid-morning. And as we take a look at your future scan, again, this projects what the radar may look like 2 hours into the future. Again, most of the rain going to stay to our northwest, maybe a few showers starting to push in along the Cumberland Plateau. But really the heavier stuff is not going to come in until after about 10 a.m., especially this afternoon into the late evening and overnight hours. Temperature is going to hold steady in the mid to maybe upper 60s for most of the day, and there's still going to be that threat for some localized flooding. Not expecting any widespread flooding, and of course if you kind of have August in the back of your mind where we had all that flooding across southern Hamilton County, you got to keep in mind we got 5, 6, almost 7 inches of rain in about 2-hour time span. We're going to get 2 to 3 to maybe 4 inches of rain over about 24 hours, so it's going to have more time to drain. With that being said, still could be a couple issues here in that yellow shade, which does include our entire coverage area. So as we take a look at our in-house model, this is the latest data coming in. By 8:30, 9 o'clock, we're starting to see a little bit of rain showing up across our westernmost communities. That's going to spread in across the rest of the area. Notice by about midday, we got pretty heavy rain out there. So if you're going out to lunch with your friends, again, just keep that in mind. Have the umbrella on hand, stand by, have the rain boots ready to go today. You're going to need them, especially as we get into the afternoon. We'll have several rounds of rain. Could get a little bit of a lull in the activity later this evening with the heavier rain starting to shift into North Georgia, but then we'll be right back at it overnight with more of that moisture pluming in from the south and west, and still expecting some really heavy rain overnight. And by the time we wake up on Saturday, the heaviest stuff is gradually going to start to shift to the east, and we will dry out throughout the day. But again, some of the model runs picking up lower amounts, but our in-house model still looking at a solid 2 to 3 to maybe 4 inches of rain. It looks like that axis of heavier rain may actually set up across North Georgia. Fannin, Gilmer, parts of Murray, down into Gordon counties. That's where you could potentially see those 4-inch rainfall amounts, and that's where we could have some of the issues. Also overnight, and this doesn't surprise me at all, with the heavy rain that's going to come in, that should act to stabilize the atmosphere. So the severe threat looking much lower. Still a marginal risk for parts of Grundy, Marion, Jackson, and DeKalb counties, but again, any tornado threat has shifted further to the southwest across parts of Alabama, Mississippi, and it looks like the tornado threat really going to be highest closer to the Gulf Coast, where you're going to be deeply entrenched to that warm sector. And then tomorrow, as the system's starting to move out, could have a few stronger storms with some gusty winds, but really not a huge concern moving forward. I'm really going to watch that localized flooding concern that could develop later today into early Saturday morning, and then by Saturday afternoon, of course, the system starts to exit, and Sunday's going to be much colder. Go ahead and prepare yourself for that. We've been spoiled with some really warm air. We're going to drop down into the 40s and then the mid-20s Sunday night, and next week's just going to be cooler in general. 43 on Thursday. We'll have a couple days in the 50s. But again, today, Michelle, it's one of those days where you just want to pay close attention to the weather, download your Local 3 weather app, and just, again, a lot of people have plans Friday night.
Yeah.
Be careful on those roadways.
Yeah, this is kind of that tap on the shoulder of, hey, you might want to pay attention.
Yeah, and it's the first one of the new year, so take it seriously and be careful.
All right. Thank you, Clay.